Cooking with Plants, and welcome to episode 2 of Your Vegan Story, the interview series with my vegan friends. And for this episode, I'm joined by James ASPEY, who has an amazing vegan story to tell everyone. So I'm looking forward to hearing it again. And if you haven't heard his story, I'm sure you will love this. So welcome, James.
Thanks.
Awesome to have you here.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. You've heard my vegan story like 10 times.
I have, and I don't get sick of it. So.
Sure. So what happened for me, it all started about 12 years ago. I was diagnosed with cancer, with leukemia and lymphoma. And I got really sick, as you can imagine. My hair fell out. I put on about 25 kilos. And I battled cancer for a few years. And then I met a personal trainer who helped me lose all the weight and just, what he'd really done was help me out of my suffering. And because I'd never really suffered before. So what this man had done for me by helping me get my health back was really, really inspiring. And I wanted to do the same for other people. So I became a personal trainer too, which I did for 8 years. And part of the job of a personal trainer is to teach people about health, about nutrition. And I thought I knew quite a bit about it. I started working on cruise ships, sailing around the world, giving lectures on health and meeting thousands of people every week. And then I met this man, this old Indian man who was real wise, and we talked every day for like 2 weeks, and he was just a passenger. And then one day he said something to me that planted a seed that changed my life forever. And he said, eating animals is bad karma. And I'd never really thought about what it meant to eat animals. I've always believed as a personal trainer and before that you need to eat animals to survive and thrive. So when he said that eating animals is bad karma, I just thought, well, that's what we've got to do. I don't feel guilty about it. But I did think, well, is there something I can do? Like, I want to improve my karma. I don't want to have, I want to do what I can to live the best life I can. And I said to this guy, there's no such thing as a healthy vegetarian, thinking I knew. And he said, I've been vegetarian for 20 years. And I said, damn, really? How can you be alive, man?
Healthy?
Look, to be honest, he didn't look that healthy. But he was alive. That was more than I expected. He was an old man. He wasn't doing the best. Anyway, and so I just thought, okay, look, I'll be vegetarian for a week. I'll stop eating meat for 7 days, see how I feel. 3 days in, what I was expecting was to not be able to get out of bed. I hadn't had any protein for days, and I didn't think I'd be strong in the gym, and I just wasn't expecting to feel good. But I felt so good. I had so much energy. I was beaming. I was pushing more weight in the gym. I was feeling so good. And that was shocking to me because I thought, how can I feel good when I'm not eating meat? I feel better. I feel happier. Like, what's going on? So I started looking into the health benefits, looking into the research behind it. Because I was excited because I thought, maybe I can keep this up. Like, what's going on here? And I learned that not only can you be healthy from not eating animal products, but you're increasing your chances of living a longer, healthier life. You're reducing your chances of getting heart disease, cancers, diabetes, osteoporosis, obesity, so many sicknesses. So I was thinking, wow, I never knew this was possible. And I just stuck with vegetarianism for health. It was all about me. But I got really interested because I felt like I'd discovered this secret. I'd been in the health industry for 8 years and not thought that this was possible when actually it's far healthier. So I was very excited to be able to help my clients even more, get even better health and, just improve their chances of being healthy. I thought, this is great. And upon researching more, that's when I learned that most people's reason for being vegetarian isn't because they care about their health. Most people are vegetarian because they care about animals. So I was like, I never cared about animals before. I didn't really like animals, even, dogs. Like, I didn't have a close friendship with any dogs or anything. I never thought that animals could care about themselves. So I thought, why would I care about them if they don't even have the capacity to care about themselves? It didn't make sense for me to worry about them. And I decided, what's everyone caring about animals for? Let's look into this a little bit more, just curiosity. And I started seeing, watching footage of what happens for animals, to become our food or to become our clothing or our entertainment or, animals that are getting tested on for our products. And I'd seen it before once. I saw it when I believed that we needed to do this to animals to survive and be healthy. So I didn't really feel bad. I just thought, yeah, this kind of sucks, but I'm human, I need to eat animals. But seeing it again, seeing this, animals being mutilated, having their teeth cut out, having their tails cut off, having their ears notched, having their beaks cut off, being castrated, babies being taken from their mothers, and baby boys in the egg and the dairy industry being killed because they don't produce eggs or dairy, and, mothers like being hooked up to painful milking machines, and all these just horrors, like horrific cruelties that you wouldn't wish on your worst enemy. And I saw this and I thought, what is this? Is this what's happening? Is this what we do? It led me to the question, if we don't need to kill and eat animals to survive and thrive, what do we do this to them for? Why do we put them through this? And I assumed there'd be a really good answer, because everyone loves animals and everyone's against animal cruelty. So I thought, oh, there must be a good reason. And I looked into it and realised, still to this day, the best justifications I can find are because they taste good, because it's convenient to eat animals, because it's tradition, we've been doing it for a long time, and because we're in a habit. This is just what we do.
Yeah.
And I just thought, they are not even close to justifying these horrors of what we do to the most innocent, vulnerable beings on the planet. And that's not the kind of person I strive to be. I strive to be a kind, peaceful, loving person. My job is to help people out of suffering, not to put others into suffering. And I realised that my choices to consume animal products, that's what I was paying for. I was paying someone to mutilate and torture and kill animals for foods and products I didn't even need. Yeah. So I was vegetarian for the animals then, 100%. I was just like so passionate all of a sudden. And I still didn't fully understand dairy and eggs, because a piece of meat chopped up and on your plate, that's been cut off an animal. But eggs, dairy, there's no sign of cruelty really. So it took a little while to connect those dots. But I was almost there, and I started, I kept eating eggs and dairy, but then I forced myself to start thinking about what I'd seen, of the dairy industry, of the egg industry. And that made me want it less and less. And then I realized how many alternatives there are to dairy and to eggs, and just the millions of vegan recipes out there. And I thought, why am I even sticking with these foods when there's such an abundance of alternatives we can eat? And what really happened when I went actually vegan was I did this 10-day meditation where you meditate 10 hours a day for 10 days. And I had this idea there to do a 365-day vow of silence for something I'm passionate about, to raise awareness for something. I didn't know what. Then I realized, well, I'm really passionate about animals all of a sudden. And it's not just about animals. So many people can be interested in this lifestyle because it's about animals first and foremost. It's about 1.5 trillion victims we inflict this violence on every year that's completely avoidable. But it's also about the health benefits that I mentioned earlier. It's also about environmental benefits, because animal agriculture is destroying this planet. And so I thought, this is great, this is for everyone. I'll take this vow of silence for animals. And then one day I was eating cheese, and my friend asked me, what's this vow of silence thing you're talking about doing? And I said to her, I'm doing this vow of silence to raise awareness for animals. And that's when it really clicked that how could I do such an action for animals when I'm eating cheese, when I am part of the problem? I am one of the ones paying for this to be done. Doesn't make any sense. The only thing that made sense was to be vegan, which had always seemed extreme to me before that moment, really. Yeah. It always seemed like a little unnecessary, a little out there, no animal products, wow. But I got to the point where I was like, since when did not wanting to cause unnecessary harm to animals become extreme? What's extreme is saying that you love them and you're against animal cruelty while you're paying people to abuse and kill them. So I decided, I'll be vegan. I'm going to be vegan. And I was kind of shocked that I'd got to this point. I used to eat meat 3 times a day, but vegan was the only thing that made sense, and still is the only thing that made sense. There's no good argument. There's no argument against veganism at all. Yeah. And so since then, I just, the more I learned, the more passionate I became, the more I realized, as someone who is lucky enough to know what's going on and to see what happens to animals and to realize it doesn't have to be this way, the more I've felt a huge responsibility to speak up for those who can't do it for themselves. And so it's not just about being vegan for me anymore, but it's also about being a voice for animals, being an activist, and spreading the vegan message, because that's the only thing that will end this injustice. That's the only thing that will end animal exploitation. Is, vegetarianism won't end this, and buying free range and humanely slaughtered, which means next to nothing, won't end this. The only thing that will bring this injustice to an end is veganism, and that's why it's important for each and every one of us to take that on in our own life, to become vegan, and then preferably help others do the same as well.
Yeah. So when you made that full connection to become vegan, at that time, did you have any close friends or family members that were also vegan, or it was just a choice you thought, no, I'm going to commit to this. I don't care if anyone else does. This is my choice. I'm committing to this.
Yeah. I didn't know, I didn't have friends or family that was vegan. I had one friend who I wasn't very close with who I knew went vegan. I didn't know what that meant though. Someone told me that he's gone vegan. And I was like, what's that? And then, so you already know the story because you heard it so many times. I said, what's that? And they said, I don't know what it is, but he doesn't sit on leather couches anymore. I was like, what? I didn't get it. I didn't know it was about, like the skin of animals. And so I didn't know it was an animal thing. But when I went vegan, I didn't know any other vegans. I didn't know there was like this huge community online and like dozens and dozens of Facebook groups that can help you out and get, answer your questions and that. I just did my own research. I watched Earthlings, I watched Forks Over Knives, I watched Gary Yoffsky's speech, 101 Reasons to Go Vegan, and all of this was more than enough for me to realize it was something I had to do. But then I did, I showed my mum and dad Earthlings, and they went vegetarian and then vegan soon later. And since then, a lot of people who I know, friends, family, have become vegan, and it's the same for everyone. When you go vegan, you don't sort of think, oh, I don't want to be vegan, I miss this, I miss that. You're so happy to be vegan because it just feels so right.
Yeah.
And you're not sacrificing anything, you're gaining so much. So, it's a gift to share and something we should be spreading because, it's about reducing the violence on this world. There's already so much, and increasing the peace, and that's something that each and every one of us can do 3 times a day when we're making choices of what we eat, when we choose what to wear. That's something that we have power over and something that we should, be responsible for and look at our own lives and then do what we can. And that's it. Be vegan's one of the best things we can do.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for sharing your story. That was
my pleasure.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
And no doubt we'll have you back on the channel
Cool.
at another time. We'll have another
Yes.
chat. But yeah, that's fantastic. Just so great to hear your story, and everyone just has a different way that they found this lifestyle. So it is just amazing. So
absolutely.
And if people want to contact you and ask you any questions?
Yeah, you got any questions ever for me, you can email me peace@jamesaspey.com.au. I'm on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. Just my name, James Aspey. So if you've got any questions about anything I said or anything vegan related in general, then feel free to get in touch anytime. We'd love to hear from you.
Awesome. Thanks again.
Cool, my pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
See you.